All right, we'll call the meeting to order. Tom, you want to lead us in the pledge of allegiance?
Sure. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
First up, we've got privilege of the floor for the Delhi Bird Club. Kathy Mario.
There you go. Somewhat hot off the press.
Thank you. Thank you.
What we're doing. Yes. Anybody want a bird brochure? Sure, yeah.
I'm all set.
Good. I'm Kathy Mario. I used to be vice president of Delhi Bird Club before we kind of folded. I really want to thank Matt for his enthusiasm in supporting the club in this project. The Delhi Bird Club was founded about 50 years ago, or 50 years ago this year, by Millie Truscott Clark, and I thought it was very poignant that her niece, Cynthia Waterman, was the last president of the Delhi Bird Club. Over the last 50 years, we've done bird counts, a lot of citizen science, bird walks every spring and fall, and sitting out in the cold counting the ducks in the winter, and trying to educate the public about birds as much as we can, but mostly just enjoying them. The club agreed as our last project, since we had funds left in the treasury, that we wanted to put together a brochure about the birds of the upper Delaware River. It's a rich place in bird life and wildlife, as you all know. So we put together this brochure with the help of many local photographers, with writers, and with the help of people who gave permission for us to tromp through their property and so on. The Chamber of Commerce was really excited to put this on their website. Certainly the town could put it on their website under the rec section if you want. Anybody who wants to put it on their website can do that. We have several hundred copies, and those will go in the kiosk with the nice history tour that we already have. And we'll put them at trailheads, both down at Nature Conservancy and at the SUNY Delhi Outdoor Ed Center, as well as other places in the libraries and B&Bs and so on. I do want to introduce a couple of people, and we had more people coming last week, but I'm really glad that they did not come out last week. Kate Crane was vice president treasurer of the organization for well over 20 years. I think you were a member for 30. Yeah.
Well, not quite. I've been a member for about 23.
Yeah.
Treasurer, a good share of that.
Yeah. Kay's from Walton. And one of the people who really, you're going to enjoy her work. This is Barb Onash, who lives up near Up Creek. Her neighbors are the bald eagles who live on the river there, and some of her photographs are just fabulous. But we had other people's photographs were too, and Bob and Kim Cairns are members of the club, and it's sad, but the club did a lot, and we're happy that they had the opportunity to do that. We do hope that over the next year we'll be able to do a bird census up on the new trails, both up at Bramley Mountain as well as the new one behind the high school. I also want to thank SUNY Delhi, because not only did they encourage us to use their SUNY Delhi Outdoor Ed Center for birding, which actually we've been doing for years anyway, but also because Pam Peters, who wasn't an official member of the club, but who's Resnick Library Director, took the pictures, our narrative, and our concept and idea, and she made it look decent, which we would have no idea how to do. So we really appreciate them. Liz Brossi down at DBS, at Delhi Business Systems, did a great job of setting it up and printing it and so on. So we're real grateful to them for that. And it's really a pleasure for us to give Delhi and surrounding areas this gift. So thanks.
Thank you. I had a chance to look at this before it was officially introduced tonight, and share it with my kids, and I've lived here all my life and never appreciated it as much as I do now. So thanks a lot for making the effort to put this on paper, and I'm telling you, my kids are now looking for these birds every time we're going in the car, and we saw an owl on Archie Elliott Road on Sunday, but it wasn't a snowy owl, so what kind of owl
Barred?
was it? It was big.
I would say barred, wouldn't you?
It was big,
Probably.
yeah.
Kind of a flat base.
Mhm. Yeah, we took a picture, but it's not, it doesn't measure up to the
You're not gonna make the brochure?
no. But thank you very much, this is wonderful.
Thanks.
And I'm sorry that you're not gonna exist anymore.
So
No.
are we, but that's just how it works.
You'll
We're
still
you know
exist as
extinction.
people, but,
We still get together as a group, you know that.
good. Thank you so much, and thanks
Sure.
for coming tonight.
You're welcome.
I'm gonna stay.
And this will be on the website for sure. Kathy, is
Yeah.
it, the one that you sent me, is it the final version? You sent me one,
Online?
electronically,
Yeah,
yeah. Okay,
yes.
so I'll post it
And it's
on
on, yeah,
the
that'd
town
be great.
website.
Thanks, Kate. Thanks, Jim, for coming.
Not too bad to have a show from this kind of weather. Anybody else for privilege of the floor? All right, moving on. Approval of the November 11th meeting minutes. We got-
I'd like to just point out two things on the minutes. Just that we make a correction under where a motion was made to, it says approve the budget, that we need to change that to adopt it. And under our committee reports on the highway machinery, we added an additional part-time employee, and we need to put in there that he was hired at $17.55 per hour. Those are the only changes that I would note.
Okay. Is there a motion to approve the minutes with the changes Al mentioned?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Carried. Old business, I've got a couple things that have come back. Nymar did a risk assessment for our insurance. We've gotten a pretty extensive printout from them on some things we've got to address here in the building and in the highway garage and at the playground. I think Al and I are gonna sit down and kinda go over it and we'll split it up a little bit, who's gonna concentrate on which area of it, but as you can see, it's a pretty good list. Which,
So the playground is our new acquisition, right? We never were responsible until,
Right,
A year
and
ago,
actually, Nymer had already looked at the playground at one point, and when we took it over, we had to do some changes and some extensive things to it. And they were informed at the time that that will eventually be part of the pool project, so there'll be a lot of upgrades and things that happen down there eventually. They're aware of that, that's why I wanna go over that with you, to find out, I may have to go back and remind them of our discussion,
yeah.
which is fine.
And other old business, we've just got a notice from New York State Homes and Community Renewal. The sports field specialties grant money that we'd applied for, we did get awarded $225,000 for the project.
excellent.
And the paperwork will be forthcoming on that, and then we'll have a meeting, Glenn Niels will be here, and we have to accept, the grant. But they will be handling all that paperwork for us. And, there was some confusion with the article in the Daily Star, there was another $900,000, that was a grant that Sportsfield applied direct to the state for. So, all said and done, they got over the $1 million. It was kinda nice that New York State paid attention to the offer that North Carolina made to Sportsfield. And we kinda pointed out that if you really wanna keep jobs here, then put your money where your mouth is. And they did, they stepped forward, and, construction will be starting, and, hopefully we'll see quite a few new jobs from it. And I think that's it, unless anybody else has got any old business. business, we've got to set up a year-end meeting to pay the bills and an organizational meeting. We've kind of discussed possibly Tuesday, December 30th at 3 p.m. for the year-end meeting. Is that agreeable? Does that work for everybody?
Yeah.
All right. We'll advertise that one, Nancy. And organizational meeting, Friday, January 2nd at 3. Will that work? Anybody gonna be out of town?
I'm not sure.
You're not sure.
Probably with Billy. I'll be here, but.
Is that good for Bill?
Yeah.
Works
Okay
for
with
me.
that?
Might be tired, but it'll work for me.
Is that what you call it?
All right, we'll go with, January 2nd at 3 for the organizational meeting.
We'll make a motion to accept those dates.
I make a motion, we accept those dates.
Is there a second? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Carried. And Nancy's got a note on there, the clerk's office and the court will be closed December 24th through the 26th for Christmas, and December 31st through January 1st for New Year's. Moving on to committee reports, highway and machinery.
I'll refer that over to our highway superintendent. We had some discussion today, but
Not too much to report on. We do have obviously our usual breakdown. Seems like I come back every month for that, but it's getting straightened away. We're taking care of those. We're probably gonna have to start thinking about hauling some more grid, and we're okay for now, but we have a warm spell. It's still been warm. If it does get cold in January, February, then we get to the point where we're gonna need it. We'll never be able to work with it at that point. So, we'll have to check with Mark Babcock who won the bid, but he may be busy. If not, we can get sewer, sand, and gravel to do it.
Okay.
But I think for safe measures, we better start thinking about it.
Yeah, we better plan ahead before it all freezes solid.
When does he stop hauling?
Mark, you're talking about,
Yep.
he hauls salt to the state all winter, so he may be committed to that.
Right.
And you mean as far as when he.
As far as having the pit open and getting good material and not,
Sewer, sand, and gravel's open, they can get in there all year. Clark's will probably make it so we can too. Right now, we could. It stays this temperature for a little while.
isn't that where we got our poor quality?
Yeah, cheaper, but Seward will be a little bit better. They're good, that's open all winter anyway. And they will do the trucking. Probably a good way to do it.
our latest truck was, our newest purchase is in the fleet, and
Yep.
it's out for its maiden voyage today.
Yeah, yeah,
Did okay?
did okay.
Good. Looks good.
Yeah, did turn out well.
Yeah, looks good. Yeah,
Right,
we're
where's the
keeping
map?
our fingers crossed for the new one,
Yeah,
maybe Friday.
maybe Friday.
Yeah,
Just spoke with them again this morning.
yeah, good.
They told me, now's not the time to rush them. This part of the process is not the time to rush them. I said, I realize.
There hasn't been a time to rush
No,
it.
no. They said, I'm not rushing this. We don't want a truck that we have to send back, but it is a month.
Well, we kinda
late.
need it before snow season's over.
Yeah, yep, so they said by Friday, hopefully.
Good.
Which Friday?
We'll see.
A Friday.
Day Friday.
Month and a half
Future
ago.
Friday.
Okay.
The holdup was the dump box. Apparently wasn't made, which was, I guess neither here nor there. 3 or 4 different companies have a hand in making the thing. That's what happens. The box is there, it's being installed now. They started Friday, and they're finishing up this week, so. They said hopefully Friday, maybe sooner.
Good.
We'll hope for the best.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. And all the trucks are running at the moment, or
No, we have one of the small trucks down.
with the Volvo and all those are back?
Those are all going, yep.
Okay.
We do have an oil leak on our spare, our backup truck, which we've been using because we have a little truck down. So that's gonna be the next road drive.
Okay.
The little truck will be back by the end of the week too, so that will
hydraulics or the motor?
Motor oil.
Anything else for highway machinery? Okay, moving on, health and youth, Matt?
On our website, there's a link to Delhi area happenings, and I'm encouraging people to click on that this week, because there's a lot happening, including, there's a guided walk this Saturday led by Amy Beveridge on the new trails behind the high school, and you can find the time and meeting place on the Delhi area happenings on our website. You can also find information about the Holiday Lights tour. So there's a contest going on in the town of Delhi right now for holiday lights, and on Saturday there will be an event at the square where you can get on a wagon and ride around and see the lights. And there'll be hot chocolate, and it's like good small town stuff, so plan on it. I just wanted to say thanks to the village and Delhi National Bank, or Delaware National Bank of Delhi for, and especially Chris Maney for organizing at the Santa on the Square this past Saturday, which was great, and people should come to it every year. Of course, Strong Wagon through the village, it's a lot of fun, and they did a great job. And Chris Maney is really the driving force behind that. The update on the ice skating rink, it's happening, everything is now in place. We were delayed because we were trying to level the land to make it a better experience, and that has happened. Thanks to a lot of different people, but we received a donation of clean, good fill from Clark Company, so I'm saying thanks to them. Thanks to Darren and his crew for delivering it up to the skating area, and then to the village workers. Jay Decker went with the Bobcat and leveled it. So there are a lot of different people already involved now. This weekend we're assembling the rink, and it's not the best weather for it, but we'll fill it up probably this weekend and pray for cold weather. But we've issued a call for donations of skates. We went to the college and talked to a couple fraternities, so college students claim they're going to come back with ice skates as donations. And it's going to be fun again this year. We have the fire pit, we have heated changing room, bathroom, lights. There'll be music, snacks, everything, so just be looking forward to it. That's the health and youth report. So once again, check the Delhi area happenings, click on that link so you know when to come to the square this weekend.
Economic development, shared services.
Yeah, we just finished up. I've been working with Glenn Nealis and the IDA. We have officially put together a package which we have forwarded out to several possibly interested parties in the Ames Plaza. It took a little longer to get all the information together because Glenn just took a little more time to research things and come up with better demographics for Delhi. So that is officially out there now. We have had one response back from Big Lots, who has told us that Delhi, at this time, Delhi is not an area they're looking at coming to. But we have it out to several other stores, and so we're waiting to see if there's some positive response from any of them. We are moving forward with several other exciting ventures, which at this point are still kind of in their infancy, and I'm not really going to go into all that right now, but I can tell you that, you know, there's a lot of other exciting things coming in the future that shared services are working on now, so hopefully we'll have more to report as time goes on.
I got a couple things that would fit under shared services,
Yeah.
I think. The Flood Commission, which is the joint flood commission for the village and town of Delhi, we've had several meetings. We meet monthly, and we're now at a point where we can do some interesting, take some action. So with the help of Delaware County Soil and Water Conservation District, we've drafted an RFP to solicit bids from consultants to do what's called a local flood hazard mitigation analysis for our area. And so that's what this document is. And what I'm asking the board to approve is for, see, the flood commission is basically an advisory panel to the municipality of the town and the village. So we come up with ideas and then we present them to you to vote on. So the first thing we're asking you to vote on is to approve the RFP the way that we've drafted it, and to appoint Delaware County Soil and Water Conservation District as the lead agency to post this and to receive the bids from consultants and to continue to advise us. But it's, none of this costs Delhi anything, it's all paid for by Delaware County Soil and Water Conservation District. And this is replicating successful process that was done in Walton, has been done in Morganville. So we want to start moving forward, and if we can approve this document tonight and approve Delaware County Soil and Water Conservation District as our lead agency, then we can start taking action towards flood mitigation. So what do y'all think?
Well, I would make a motion that we move forward and accept the permission, give the permission to Delaware County Soil and Water to act as representative in this project, as lead agent, and move forward with this plan.
I'll second that.
All right. All in favor?
Aye.
So what's gonna happen next, just so you know, is that they're gonna post this thing, consultants are gonna bid on it, they're gonna come to us with the bids, and we're gonna choose one. And then that person's gonna come to the area and they're gonna do their analysis and give us a report which shows us things that can be done to reduce the risk of flood in our area. And it's gonna be a very big deal and a very good thing for our community. The other thing I wanted to add separate from this is, I think the Riverwalk fits under this because it's sort of like a shared project. The Riverwalk, I'm talking about the planned project which goes along the river between Kingston Street and Ridge Street. For those of you who don't know, there is an architectural plan to develop this Riverwalk, and Delaware County Planning Department has been helping us to write grants and try to get funds to do the project. One of the big grants that was, or proposals that was submitted, was recently rejected, and that was, we were competing against a lot of other people. If you saw the paper, Delaware County got $15 million of state money for projects, and ours was one that did not get funded. Sydney got a lot of money for flood mitigation. Basically not flood mitigation, but relocation of properties that are in flood zones. So when I saw that news, I went to Delaware County Planning and said, can we take their proposal, put our name on it, and resubmit it for next year so that we can get money? And they said it had a lot of support from the governor's office. It was very specific to Sydney, and Sydney really needed it. So the bad news is we didn't get the money for the Riverwalk. The good news is that we are not considered so tragic compared to our neighbors in the county. Sydney and Walton are a lot higher priority when it comes to these kinds of grant funds. Unfortunate for us, but it's good for them, I suppose. So we're still looking for money for that Riverwalk.
Do you want to bring up the letter there, the joint letter to the DA?
Oh, yeah, that makes sense here too. Shared services, what the shared services committee is two people from the village board and two people from the town board who get together and talk about common concerns. And one of our concerns has to do with the enforcement of laws in the community. So we don't have any concerns about our police. They're doing a good job, but we have concerns when we read the justice report every month. So what the justice report shows us is who's coming before the judge and what kind of penalties they're receiving. And there's concerns about the penalties that are being handed out and the lack thereof. So we drafted a letter that I am bringing before the board, asking, I guess, for approval to move forward. And it's a letter to the district attorney's office, asking them, requesting them to come to a meeting of the town and village board to answer some of our questions and to explain to us why things are the way that they are, because we're accepting the fact that maybe we don't understand the situation. But we'd like to see Delaware County and specifically Delhi be, higher quality of life, and that comes with holding people accountable for their offenses. I'm not talking about a police state, I'm talking about just, let's be at least average, which I think we have ways to go. So I brought the letter, I handed it out to my fellow members of council, and if you guys are okay with this letter, which basically says what I just said, we're concerned about the way the conviction rates, basically, and penalties that people are held to. It would be signed by the supervisor, by Mark, and by the mayor of Delhi, Rich Maxey. So how do you feel about that? I'd like to see something in writing to show that we are aware of the situation.
Yeah, the mayor and I have talked about it, we're both, both willing to stick our signatures on the bottom line to try to, get things moving in the right direction. It's one of those deals, you can't prosecute everybody for everything, but some of the plea bargaining is getting out of control.
When I did my court report audit last month, a lot of those concerns were addressed to the clerk and the judge by myself, and they were explained. So I think that I think that the board should have conference with them to, come up to speed and really see what the justice system is dealing with, not only from the prosecution side, but from the judge's standpoint.
Okay.
Because it was very informative to what goes on in that office, and they're very professional in there, they're very good.
Well, yeah,
And it was very eye-opening to listen to them both.
I want to make sure people understand, the people in the audience understand that the letter does not say our judge is doing something wrong, and it doesn't say the police are doing something wrong. It says, what's the district attorney's strategy here? That's basically what the...
Well, the statistics show that Delhi is very low in convictions.
Right.
That's at DWI or whatever. We had the DWI coordinator for Delaware County here, gave us a report. And so there is something going on there. And so, and like you said, we're not blaming anyone. We just want to find out from the district attorney exactly what is going on. So we're requesting that he come and meet with a combined board, at a combined board meeting, basically, so we can ask questions and become more informed. So I would make a motion, since I'm on the Shared Services Committee, to request that Mark sign this letter and pass it on to the mayor of Delhi for his signature.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay.
And during this, are you going to have some questions made up so that Mr. Northrup won't be blindsided, give them to him before the meeting, or?
No, I don't think he needs to have
Okay.
anything given to him before the meeting. Mr. Northrup works for
He can
us.
handle it.
Okay.
He works for us.
Just
and
curious.
I don't think I need to give him anything up front.
Our last legislative committee meeting at the county, he came and answered some questions for us, and he's working on getting some information for us too, so he'll have answers for us. If not, he'll find the answers for us. All right, I'll sign this, and are they gonna bring that up to Rich at the next village board meeting?
Yeah, it was supposed to be discussed at the last one, and he was out of
Since
town.
he was out of town, okay. We'll get together and get it signed and get it forwarded.
Super, thanks.
Yep. Let's see, what else here? Recreation Committee.
Yeah, I would just report that, first of all, if you haven't heard, the pool committee did receive a grant for $25,000 from the Constitutional Pipeline Community Grant Program. We also, which was a nice shot in the arm there and helps us move a little closer. We also met with Eric Robert at the college, who was kind enough to go over our bid specs, the project bid specs, and give us some ideas on some cost-saving measures that we might be able to incorporate into the plan. It was about a 6-page report. We spent